Hello everyone and welcome to the Commexis Cast Daily. All the news you need to know from our inbox to yours. Today we're talking about one more Facebook flub. Hello everyone, I'm Matthew McGrorty, the videographer and podcaster here at Commexis, and today I am joined by the lead strategist at Commexis, Phillip Brooks.
Good morning.
So our story for today, Facebook will no longer show audience reach estimates for custom audiences after a vulnerability was found. So Facebook announced this last week. I believe it was last Friday. So a research team at Northeastern University had notified Facebook through their bug bounty program. So you find a bug and you report it and you get some form of reward. And Northeastern University had also done this before, so they knew what they were doing. So the team found an exploit in which you could infer the attributes of an individual by using an uploaded custom audience list of emails. And then you could also, or other personally identifiable information, using the estimated reach reporting. So you'll hopefully be seeing an image now, but basically the estimated reach reporting was a dial, and if you had a set of emails that was perfectly balanced on that scale, if you included a new email, it would sway in the direction of a certain characteristic you were looking for. So for example, if somebody was looking, and this is from Marketing Land's Ginny Marvin, she wrote the piece and spoke with the research team, and one of the examples she gives is the gender of somebody, for example, using an email. So say you were looking for my gender. If you had this balanced list and you included what they called the victim, if you included my email in this, and then you had the categories male or female, if you clicked on male, it would sway towards that, and if you clicked female, it would not move, and therefore you could infer that I was a male. So using this, Facebook has obviously caught this, thankfully, but when I think about this sort of mistake, I just think of, man, somebody figured out a bug in the system, and if anybody else figured it out with bots,
that is
you could just go through
a lot of work, a lot of manual work. And the thing I can just see is, I guess, just how much of the information that are they finding that's not already out there?
Yeah.
Like, I know it collects a lot of information, certainly, and about your likes and dislikes and things like that. And it seems like it's just a binary kind of equation. If you put that that control number in, it'll tell you whether or not that person yes or no. So it's just it's basically just I and O. But I guess my point is, there's so many other places that gather your information online. I don't know what real competitive advantage you're compiling by doing this. You could infer somebody's gender just by looking at their profile.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, obviously, the extent that the research team went into, but I imagine there's also other sort of reach metrics that they could be looking at.
Yeah, I guess to me, because I feel like it has to be, and maybe I'm misunderstanding the methodology, but it seemed like it has to be an A and a B, like a binary answer. Like, so you couldn't just figure out somebody's, for example, their income level or something like that, or their education level.
So from what I'm understanding of the study, if you had different options for the income level, say you had a range of 5,
right.
If you picked one of the 5 and that hit, it would. So my thought was, and I guess you kind of had a good point of how useful actually is this information when you could find some of it already. But my thought is just, if you had some bots that just went through and quickly went, okay, well, insert this email, click this, click this, click this.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing about the vulnerability is, obviously it wasn't intentional. It was just something that's accidentally in there. But also, it's one of those things that Facebook was just kind of letting people do. Users weren't being notified, stuff like that. So I think it's kind of, not to piggyback onto the other big Facebook controversy that we're going to be talking about later in the week, but it's certainly not a nice thing to find out as well.
Well, I think and normally I'm pretty hard on Facebook and a lot of the stuff, and I try to be very cautionary about what I tell people to provide online, and I'm as big a culprit as anybody. You could find virtually anything about somebody online, and myself included. But I feel like this is something that they just it's just a matter of not being able to think ahead enough of different ways people might try these things. It's I kind of want to give them a little bit of a pass on this, just because, who would have thought that somebody was going to go through each of these things individually and try to do. So as much as I caution against being too overly to overshare on that kind of stuff. I feel like this to me wouldn't be something that would give me pause about using Facebook, because I simply just feel like it's such a obscure methodology. I don't know how you could really you could even predict that somebody would do something like that. I mean, it's it's hard enough trying to predict vulnerabilities when you're building code and things like that. To think about something like this, I feel like is it's a lot to expect from somebody.
Yeah, I definitely think that's fair, especially, I'm sure when they were creating these audience tools, they didn't expect somebody to go, oh, well, I'm going to create a perfectly balanced list, and then I'm going to add these things and stuff like that. So I think that is a very, very fair point. So Facebook has said, let me scroll up on my notes. So Facebook had a statement.
He takes notes.
Somebody's got to take notes here. So Facebook said, we're grateful to the researchers who found this issue, and we've suspended this feature to fix it. People's privacy and security is incredibly important to Facebook, which is why we take any potential abuse of our system very seriously. And that was Mary Koo, the product management director at Facebook. So potential reach numbers will not be provided in any campaign going forward that uses custom audiences, including to build lookalike audiences from an uploaded list until a fix has been developed. So for example, the last error that Northeastern University found was a leaking of telephone numbers that got taken down in December and then brought back in March. So it's probably going to be coming back if that is something that you use often, but for now it is going to be turned off until they find a way to figure out the solution to that problem. Facebook is also investigating but hasn't found any evidence so far that its tools were used in this way. Jeannie Marvin mentions that she's not sure how you would figure out if anybody's used the system in this way, but we shall see going forward. I think that's it for the show, unless you have any final comments you want to make.
No, like I said, I think again, this is something that's it's concerning, but to me, it's not nearly as big a concern as some of the other incidents that we've discussed in the past. I think that just as a whole, it just doesn't seem as impactful as some of that stuff would be. I just I don't see this being a sin of omission, so to speak. With doing a lot of stuff, I just think it's a amount of forethought that not many people would have even come to on their own organically.
Yeah, I think that is a great point. Final comment for the show. If you're interested in seeing how much data Facebook actually has on you, I just saw this on Twitter the other day. You can go on facebook.com/settings, and you'll be able to see your settings, and you can download a big old zip file of everything Facebook has on you. Most of it is obviously things you posted to your Facebook feed and stuff like that. If you ever wanted to see any messages you sent 8 years ago or something like that, you can't. Yeah, I know. I did this over the weekend just to see what they had, because some people were saying that they had contact information that included like text messages from their phones, which was an opt-in feature of Facebook Messenger for certain Android devices. And thankfully it didn't have any of that stuff, but if you used Facebook Messenger at all, they have quite literally every Facebook Messenger use you've ever done, which I mean is expected that Facebook would have that, but it is.
But still,
if you've ever been me and 13 on Facebook, you want to die. So that's all for today's episode of the Commexis Cast Daily. Check us out tomorrow for more of the latest trending news. Have a great day.